Welcome to another episode of the Self-Storage Insight Podcast. Today I'm joined by Matt Markham. And so Matt, give us a little bit of an intro, just to introduce yourself to our guests and give us a little bit of your background.
So I was the director of sales for our parent company, CC Sales Pro. And then when we relaunched in September with CCStorage, I was asked to kind of head the sales, with our new software that we launched. And so here I am.
Awesome. Yeah. And so kind of a fun time right now at CCStorage. We're still in, finishing up developing a lot of features. And so being in charge of the sales department there, you get to really be involved on, what are we building? Why are we building it? You're getting a lot of feedback from, the people that we're demoing, the companies that are using the software. And so, just an exciting time all around for CCStorage for sure right now. And, so as we go through a little bit of, where we are currently as far as in this time of the year, we're in a little bit of a slower season in storage, coming out of a significantly slow year last year in storage. So we wanted to kind of shoot a little bit of a podcast just to kind of explain, what are people looking for when they look for property management software. And so this podcast today will be a little bit different in a sense of we're going to talk about the things that people are looking for. How is property management helping their business? How does it help you be more efficient? How does it save you time? How does it save you money? That sort of thing. And so, it'll be a little bit different from the normal podcast episodes that we do, but it should be a lot of fun and excited to have you here. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, great. As far as heading up sales and the business development stuff with CCStorage, what is something that you see or that you hear that's commonly brought up when you're talking to a company about their needs and what they're looking for with property management systems? What are they mainly looking to achieve with those with this sort of software?
I mean, I hop on demos with small companies, mom and pop companies, medium-sized businesses, and then some very large businesses. But they all seem to have one thing in common, a few things in common. They like the fact that they don't have to produce invoices manually. They want the system to automatically generate invoices. They seem to like the site map. That way they can manage their facility from the site map and see, who's past due, who's on time. That's the main, basic features, the essential features that they're looking for. Yeah, like the visual aid of a site map actually really is something that a lot of people really like. And we hear that a lot as far as being able to quickly see what's happening at my facility versus trying to print out reports and see who's past due. Where are we at on rent rolls, that sort of thing. The one other thing that's been big that has been brought up on almost every demo that I've sat in as well is, online rentals, being able to get somebody in the door without having to have them come by your shop and sign a lease on paper and pay with cash and check and that sort of thing too. So I think online rentals are a big part of why so many people are going to property management software solutions. It's saving yourself time though. Again, a lot of people have multiple facilities or they're involved in other businesses. And so the automatic invoicing, the more that the software can do for your business, the better, right? Yeah, yep. But so as far as evaluating my business needs, one of the things that I like to talk about is, if I'm looking for a solution, whether it be property management software, no matter what it is, whatever area I'm looking to kind of find something to help me in my business, I really need to evaluate what does my business need before I even see what's out there, because I may be evaluating the wrong types of softwares. So kind of walk me through a little bit of what do you run into as far as when you talk to somebody, how much homework should have you done prior to scheduling demos with these companies and seeing what softwares are out there? I like to learn a little bit more about their business. That's usually the first question I ask, or the first thing I ask for is to learn a little bit more about their business. That way I can kind of help them evaluate their needs in some circumstances, because you wouldn't believe how many people are taking over for their parents or taking over for their grandparents, and they have not evaluated any needs, and they are still on pen and paper, and they really have no direction. So they kind of look at me for some guidance. So I do have to assist with, evaluating their business needs. But I try to guide them. I don't really know their situation and their business. I just try to listen and take in as much as I can, and then kind of help them evaluate their own needs.
Right, because a lot of when you're looking at what software solution are you going to go to, or who are you going to have to help you with your business, a lot of it is knowing like what features do I actually need versus what are overkill for my business. A lot of times when we're sitting when we're demoing customers or we're talking to businesses that are using our software, they don't want something that's so complex that it takes them a long time to learn how to use it, right? Yeah. People want something that makes sense in the time that they can put into it. Can they figure out how to use the software to benefit the business? Or is there so many bells and whistles and there's so many features that they don't need that they kind of get lost on reports. What am I doing? Right, reporting, exactly, yes. Yeah. So we do definitely hear that a lot as far as, you know, and that's kind of what I mean when I say evaluate your business needs is if I don't need, you know, all of these crazy features that some of these companies are offering, then I probably want to go with a simpler software solution, you know, or maybe I realize that I do want a lot of these features and I need to look at the more complex, you know, Storable or Tenant Inc. or somebody that has integrations with every other company. So that way I can do a lot more stuff for my business.
Yeah. The larger businesses, definitely the more integrations, the better in a lot of situations. But, you know, it's nice with our customers, it's nice to train them, you know, before we kind of let them loose. And we don't really hear back from our customers afterwards. We teach them how to navigate the portal. We teach them how to view the reports. So we kind of train them effectively to where we don't really hear much from them afterwards, but we do fully support it as well. And I believe that's where a lot of problems occur with these other software companies is people don't get the support that they need because there are so many bells and whistles. There are so many reports. There are so many integrations. They really need, you know, a lot of training to really understand and grasp how they're going to, or, you know,
right. Where are they trying to? Yeah. What are they trying to accomplish? Are you with it? Yeah. And so if you make it so complex, again, companies are looking to save time. At least the ones that we're dealing with. You know, a lot of these companies are looking to save time. So how quickly can I get comfortable with the software solution? And then does it do the things that I need it to do? Does it invoice my customers? Does it send them notices that, you know, when things happen? Notifications. Does it update me when things happen? Right. So the more notifications that I get as the business owner, the less I have to mess with, you know, digging through reports looking for the data that I need. So that is the one really nice thing about CCStorage that I hear especially is that, you know, it's very simple to use. The stuff is there that, you know, that you need to basically run your company. But at the same time, it's not a great fit for everybody because we don't have tons of all of these bells and whistle features that some of these REITs are looking for. Or, you know, we did finish our first gate integration though. So the gate access was something that came up a lot. So
yeah, that's almost necessary.
Right. As far as
even for the smaller companies, the smaller businesses, it's kind of a necessity for them in
right.
most cases.
Right. And so, yeah, while CCStorage doesn't have all of the bells and whistles yet, we are getting the key things in. One of the things we'll be looking to add in 2024 is tenant protection. So you want to talk about that a little bit maybe and how that's been coming up in your conversations?
Yeah. So the majority of the demos I do, people do ask for some sort of tenant insurance or protection, or they don't really know about it, but they've heard about it and they feel it's necessary for their business. And it is. I mean, it is one of the necessities, I would say. But, you know, it is nice when it's a one-click add-on through our platform. And we don't offer that yet. We have had a few meetings with some companies. So we are, you know, trying to figure out which one we want to partner with. But, you know, as far as the Rev Share that goes with that, it's beneficial to us and our customers to offer that, you know, integration. So
absolutely,
it definitely gets asked a lot.
Right. Yeah. And so something that's, you know, coming up in the industry as far as like where the industry is heading. We had a pretty slow season in 2023. It'll probably be a little bit better in 2024, but we're not going to be back to 2020 status, right? Where everything's just full, everything's automated. Yeah. So,
COVID era.
Right. There is going to be some, you know, measure that needs to be taken from businesses to maximize their profits. And so when we look at property management software, the things that we focus on with our business especially is how do we save companies time that are using our software? How do we make the business run better for them? And then how do we help their CapEx expenses, right? So how are we minimizing the expenses or maximizing their income? Because really in self-storage, there's not that many ways I can generate revenue. I can raise rents, I can do some of these add-ons like tenant protection, and then I can minimize expenses. And that's my main focus is that I'm going to get to, you know, generate more, you know, higher profit level for my business. And so talk to us a little bit about, you know, why we kind of developed CCStorage in the way that we did to kind of help smaller to mid-sized businesses. And we're getting to the larger businesses now, but you know, what did we kind of focus on as far as minimizing expenses and that on that side?
Yeah, well, initially in 2018, when we released CCStorage, the idea was to help smaller businesses track their tenants, their leases, and allow them to accept payments through our platform. That was, you know, what most of the small businesses were wanting. They weren't too concerned at the time, you know, 2018 with an online presence, with being able to rent units online. So as social media, you know, it has exploded over the years, you know, it's definitely important that part of your marketing strategy is to advertise online. We realize that with no online presence with our software, that it's going to be a necessity for these small businesses even, and especially the mid to large size businesses. So we did, add the interactive site map, the online customer sign up, where they can one click to sign their lease agreement at the end, and at that point they're able to rent units online and accept payments. So that was huge for us. That was huge for them to be able to utilize those new features and kind of necessary.
Right. So yeah, I mean, as far as on the revenue side, if your units aren't full, you're not making any money.
That's
right. And so there is a huge trend in the industry of online rentals. Things are moving online. And I mean, if you just think about the demographic too, like as our age, so I'm a millennial, as our age group comes up through, or our oh my word, our generation. Yeah. So as our generation comes up through, people are more and more comfortable, and I talk about this a lot, with putting their card information online, making their payments online. I prefer the convenience of that over obviously walking into a business and paying with cash or check. I hate writing checks, for one. And so, we found that for CCStorage to even help businesses, we needed to give them some type of online presence and the ability to rent units online.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a no-brainer.
Yeah, most of our generation, we have children, we have jobs, we're busy. We're busy.
Absolutely,
we're a very
everybody's
busy generation. The last thing I'm thinking to do is to drive to the local watershed and pay my water bill in person, or drive to the local storage facility and pay in person. I just don't have time for that. And a common objection was the processing fee, the convenience fee to pay online. Well, we've been paying those fees for years. If you pay your credit card bill, your utility bill, anything online, that fee has been present for a long time. It's the convenience that we're paying for, and that's the way things are now.
So let's back up a little bit, just because we hadn't really jumped into that yet, as far as how CCStorage lets you charge an additional, so for example, we do offer a differential pricing with CCStorage, which is what allows us to offer no cost processing for merchants, right? And that's a way that we can reduce a CapEx expense. So the two things that we kind of focused on with CCStorage when we were looking at cost reduction was, we don't charge for our software, which nobody else is really doing that. Everybody else has unit rates, a per unit cost, fees, right? Or a monthly software fee that scales based on the size of your company. And so at CCStorage, we said, hey, let's get rid of that. Let's offer our solution. And the way that we can do that is we offer differential pricing, where you can include, the cost of processing into your card transactions. And so we have two different rates. You have a cash rate, and then you have a card rate, and the card rate includes the processing for your card that you pass on to your customer. So we're actually giving the customer or the company the ability to eliminate software costs for property management, as well as the cost of card processing, which is typically a 3 to 3.5% cost on every transaction for the business. And so that I kind of just want to circle back when you were talking about passing fees on to customers. That's where we're rolling that up in. And so just to kind of give a little bit of an explanation on it. No, but so talk to me about that a little bit, and what are some of the objections that you've heard from people once they've started to do that? Because a lot of people have a little bit of kickback at the beginning and say, oh, I don't want to fee my tenant to death. I don't want to add additional fees. That's kind of the initial conversation, right?
Yeah.
Where does that kind of go to once they decide to try it? Have you had anybody come back and say, this hasn't worked out?
Never, no.
Right.
I mean, most of our customers do pass that fee to the tenant. We do have a few that do split that cost, which we give the ability to do that. You can even eat that cost if you'd like to. But like I said, people are used to paying those convenience fees. They're used to paying, for the convenience of paying online. We do also give the option to pay cash or check. We do allow you to record and track those payments as well. So if they object to that, they do have the option to come in and, make a payment, with a check or with cash. Now, the problem I've run into, not really a problem, but a lot of our customers manage their business remotely. They might live in Arizona and their facility is located in Las Vegas, and per their lease agreement, they require that their tenants pay online, and they're having no issues with that. And even one customer specifically told me, they said, well, if they object to paying the convenience fee, there's a bunch of people behind them that are willing to pay it, and rent that unit. So it hasn't been. There were some objections. Some people say, well, it's my location. I'm in the sticks. People aren't used to that. We're kind of in the sticks everywhere,
Right. It's changing.
It's changing. It's just, I think it might be their own personal opinion about passing the fee. But once they do take that chance, they're finding that people are willing to pay that fee.
Right, and then it's removing an expense from their business, which is increasing their profit. I mean, that's a bottom line profit that goes back into your pocket.
Yeah, typically
if you can get rid of that.
Yeah, the software fees are nothing compared to the processing cost for some of these larger companies.
Right, for sure. Yeah, we're able to save them a lot more money in processing than we are in software fees. And so, I mean, that's kind of where the whole business model came from, was how can we reduce expenses? What are some areas that are not being taken advantage of by companies? Yeah. And it's been a lot of fun. I kind of wanted to go back to that because we do have auto pay and stuff that makes it easier on the business, so you can automatically collect your payments. You don't have to worry about running cards manually and all that stuff. Was that when you mentioned your water bill? My water bill, I pay it once a year. And I'm pretty sure my water company hates me because they bill you monthly. But if I have to write you a check or drop a check off, like I'm not doing that. And I know that a lot of my friends are the same way, and a lot of our generation is the same way. Like, we want the convenience. We're busy. We're willing to pay a small premium for that. And
Absolutely.
So those kind of fees, again, our area has adapted that really well. We don't really run into a whole lot of objections on that. And so, that's kind of the two main things as far as, as we're evaluating what we're trying to do with our business and how are we able to help self-storage properties. We're trying to reduce some expenses and then give them the ability and the tools that they need to increase their revenues. Online rentals, easy rate increases. So through our system, you can easily increase individual lease rents. And so that way we're maximizing profits on the people that are in, and able to, run different things to get people in the door. So, it's been a lot of fun, and
it's been great, and it's just getting better and better. We do the level of support that we offer too is bar none. I mean, I still have customers of mine that text me on New Year's and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we kind of have that relationship with all of our customers. Now, as we scale and get larger, it's going to be harder to maintain those sort of relationships, but they always have access to us. So they always have access to our support team, to us. So we don't make any money off any software fees. We don't. The only way we make money is if you're happy and your customers are happy and they're paying online. So every one of you get the white glove experience from us, because that's important to us as far as releasing new features, new reports, or anything like that. So we do listen. You do have a voice, and we enjoy working with all of our customers.
Absolutely, and we don't have contracts, so that kind of keeps us accountable, right? Like, So if we don't make you happy, you can go. Absolutely. Use any one of our competitors, and there is a lot of competition in the market right now. There's a lot of other solutions that are doing good stuff, right? Like, we're not alone in this. We just offer something that's very unique as far as the no fee option to help your business. But I mean, there's other companies that have been around a lot longer than us that are credible, that have great features as well.
Absolutely.
And so we're definitely not here to put anybody else down.
We've even referred business to some of our competitors.
Absolutely.
Because we couldn't meet the needs of the person that we were speaking with in their business. So.
Right. Yeah. Main thing is we try to find the best solution for our customer, and again, we don't want to bring customers on that we can't support, because we found that that's an absolute nightmare,
it's
right?
A mess. Yeah, that's a mess.
So it's a learning process for us. We're finding where are we a good fit, and if we need to refer somebody to somebody else, we do. And so, as far as reaching out to you, if somebody has questions about their facility or what may be a good route for them to go property management wise, what's a good way to get a hold of you?
So you guys can reach me at matt@CCStorage.com. And, shoot me an email, ask me any questions you'd like. I'd be happy to hop on a quick demo with you. I'd be happy to hop on the phone with you after that, and discuss your business needs and go from there. So
awesome. Well, hey, thanks for joining me today. A lot of fun, and looking forward to see what 2024 brings for CCStorage. We have a couple other big things in the works that we're going to try and do some unique stuff. A couple other things, we do help with marketing, that sort of thing.
And so, I forgot to mention the marketing assistance
for smaller businesses, new facilities that are, we do some marketing assistance, Facebook marketing, print marketing, that sort of thing, logo design. So we have a lot of things in the works that we're working on right now, and excited to see what 2024 brings. So
man.
Awesome. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. This podcast episode was brought to you by CCStorage. CCStorage is a property management software that helps you pass the fees of credit card processing onto your customers, so you don't pay credit card processing fees ever again. If you enjoyed the podcast, there's a link below where you can fill out a form and be interviewed on the podcast with myself. If that interests you, please click the link below and we'll be in touch. We hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Don't forget to check back next week for another interview with another self-storage property owner.